Welcome, my friends, to Faith-Led Healing. I'm your host, Tammy Trayer, and today is episode number 16, and I want to talk about honing in on what we've been missing and what we want life to be. In the last episode, we talked about slowing things down, and I imagine that while you were thinking about all those things and the desire to slow things down, maybe it occurred to you that because of the fast pace that you've been running, some of the things you've been missing out on. And I think that when we're running that fast pace, we're already feeling that. You know, if we're running that fast pace and we can't sit down and spend time with our kids the way we would like to, or we're passing our spouses as we're running in different directions, and we're really feeling jaded and like we're disconnected and we're missing out on things. And you know, I want you to really think about that and hone in on that. You know, what are we missing? What are we missing as we've been racing through life? You know, when we're going so fast that we miss the butterfly that lands on our hand and we flip it off, instead of just taking it in and noticing it and looking at its colors and being grateful that it took time to land on us, kind of thing. You know, I think we're just flipping through life, and I want to encourage you, since we talked about slowing it down, to really hone in on what you feel like you've been missing out on, where you feel disconnected, where you feel like there could be change made that would benefit you, benefit your family, benefit your work, benefit your marriage. I think that we could be really constructive in fashioning a life that is so wonderful for us. And, you know, so that's the thing, is like, what do you want out of life? What do you want your life to be? What do you want it to be like? What do you want it to radiate to others? And maybe that's not a concern. You know, honestly, we don't really need to worry about what others perceive of our lives. But one thing I do think about is, you know, in my walk, as I'm making life what I want it to be, am I nurturing people, and are people seeing God shining through? And I think when we're running a really fast pace, oftentimes I don't think anything good is shining through. We're so focused on what needs to get done that we're not focusing on things around us and how we can be a light, and pausing to take those moments to speak to that person in the grocery aisle that may have needed nurturing, or sitting down with our child to listen to their plans and dreams and desires. I want to really encourage you to really look at, maybe step back and look at your life through different lenses. I know what I want in my life. I want peace. I want joy. I want happiness. I want to be present. I want to be intentional. I want to be able to love on others. I want to be able to put others ahead of myself. I also want to be able to nurture myself and provide great self-care and take care of me, so I can be the best version of myself, so that I can be all the other things, you know. So it encompasses a lot when you really think about this, but you know, that's something we need to think about. And I think, in my opinion, that we are actually thinking about these things. We are actually feeling these things while we're racing life. It's all those woulda, shoulda, coulda moments. You know, those are the things we're missing out on. And I don't ever want to get to the end of my life and say, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, I should have. I want to say I did. I did these amazing things. I did all that I was called to do. I was obedient when God called me to be obedient. I yielded to Him when, I was racing through life, and I slowed it down, and I was aware, and I enjoyed, and I was focused, and it was good. And I hope that makes sense. But we really need to not only be intentional, but be self-aware. Aware of how we feel. Here's something else that can happen too. If we don't slow things down and we don't pay attention and we don't make it a point to change things, and we're feeling like we're missing out on these things, resentment's going to set in, and you're going to blame other people, that you weren't able to accomplish some things. And the thing is, we are the ones in control of ourselves. So if you feel like you're missing out on something, you need to make changes so that you don't feel like you're missing out on those things. And that's possibly slowing things down. That might be eliminating things. For me, I've done a lot of soul searching, and I've been eliminating a lot of things, a lot of unnecessary things, a lot of things that weren't serving me. I've eliminated people already that weren't serving me, that were really sucking me dry and keeping me from missing things because they were draining the life out of me. Or I put boundaries in place with people like that so that I could be more present and enjoy the things I wanted to enjoy. We really need to evaluate these things. Evaluate just where you're at. Evaluate where you're at. And like I said, in addition to slowing things down, evaluate where you want to go. Evaluate where you want to be. Create the life you want to live. That's so important. It's so important. And I think that this is all encompassing, is that, we need to, if you feel like you're missing things because you're racing so fast, you've got to slow it down. Then you've got to really hone in on the things you're missing and make sure that they're putting them into place and that you are making time to enjoy the most important things in your life. Here's a good one, just something that popped in my head randomly. If you like to read and you are racing through life so much that you don't have time to read, but it's something that your heart is just greatly missing, then you need to create a window of 15 to 30 minutes to an hour a day where you can just sit and do that. Enjoy that time. And if you can't do it for every day, maybe twice a week or once a week, you just devote that time and you sit and you enjoy a good book. So often we rob ourselves of our most joyful things in trade for the pace. And over time, it's not really serving us well. We'll hit points in our life where we're like, this is so sad. I haven't picked up a good book in years and years and years. And whose fault is that? It's ours. We need to make time for the things that we feel like we're missing. If you feel a deep pull on your heart that there are things missing in your life or that you're missing things, you need to be intentional and you need to slow things down, and then you need to allow there to be room for the things that have meaning to you. Another good example of that is my time with God. When I first really started diving deeper with God, I would read a devotional, and I would either open the book or get on my phone and I would read it, and I would enjoy it, and I would put it down and get up and go. And that was good, and it served me. It filled me for a while. It was my start, and it was nurturing that season. But that has morphed into, okay, I might read a devotional now, but now I go into the Word. And let's just step back a second. Okay, so then I would morph into reading that devotional and really thinking about what I read, and maybe reading the Bible references that were referenced in that devotional, and take it a little deeper and spend a little more time with God and pause and pray. And then, I would get into the Bible a little more, and I would read the Word a little more, and I really got pulled into the Word. And then the devotionals kind of passed me by, and now it's just in the Word, and I'm praying, and I'm really talking to God and going deep. And you see what I'm saying? We can create the lives we desire, and it's all a matter of always paying attention and always seeing what we're missing out on and seeing where we're at. If our pace is so fast that we feel like we're missing things, we need to slow it down. We need to hone in. If our heart is desiring a deeper relationship with someone, whether it's our children, our spouse, or God, there's a reason that that's happening. If you desire to spend more time with your spouse and you feel disconnected, then you need to make time for that. So last week, again, we talked about slowing it down. This week, I really want you to hone in on maybe some of the things you're missing, or some of the things you desire to do that maybe you've never done. One of the things that has resurfaced for me, it's something I did in the past, but it has resurfaced, and that is watercolor painting. I love to watercolor. So I've been pulling that into my devotional time and making some extra time here and there to just, let my mind put onto paper the things that are there, and to use my creative side. And that has opened up a door so greatly. When I do that with my devotions go deeper because I am being creative during that time, and I'm absorbing more. And when I'm doing those things that makes my heart happy, it makes my heart so much more happy in all the other things that I do. We need to nurture ourselves, and I think that's what it comes down to more than anything. Is not so much honing in on maybe what you're missing, but honing in on what nurtures you and what you desire to achieve and experience and have happen in your life. So as you can see, this year is one of those years, and this happens for me a lot, but this is one of the years I'm really speaking about it, is kind of guiding you into learning that you can control so much more, and honing in on it, and making, like I said before, make life what you want it to be. Create the life you desire to live. So that is my message for today, and I hope that it helps you really to hone in. And for some of you, you may just not know what you want to do with your time. And that was me for a while. I had so many different things I could do that when I had time, I didn't know what to do. So, and I imagine there's other people there. So one of the things that I did during that season and that journey, and this is a good discussion to end on in this topic for today, is you might just be feeling off and you don't even know why. Pull into God and ask Him to show you. Ask Him to show you the desires of your heart. Ask Him to show you where to direct your time. Ask Him to show you how to hone in on why you feel disheveled or disconnected. Is it because you're disconnected from him? Is it because you need more time with your spouse? Is it because you want to have more time with your children? Is it because there's something that you want to do with your business and it's just not lining up and you feel off? Take it to God. Take it to God. That's the first thing I do in all these scenarios, is I'm always in communion with God. I'm always focusing on where he desires for me to go. So this was kind of a little bit all over the place, but I think this is just God guiding me in a conversation to help you, because I imagine that you are in that place. I see so many people, I don't want to say lost, but disconnected. How's that? Disconnected. And we need to get reconnected. And we started that process last week when we started slowing down. Now it's time to get reconnected. And really hone in on where you want to go. Really hone in on what you want. Really hone in on what you might be missing and what you need. Really important. Really important. It helps you to live the best life you wish to live and to create the life you want to have. So those are my thoughts for you today. I hope it's helpful to you. You can find the show notes for this episode by going to faithledhealing.com/podcast-16. And stay tuned. Next week, we're going to start talking about, and moving forward, we're going to start talking about what it means to detox. You hear me talking about it all the time, but I really want to direct your paths on that. Detoxing is very all-encompassing, and we're gonna really dive into that and break that down. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you pulled something from this, and that it will help you to really hone in on where you want to go, where you want to be, what you want in your life. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to visiting with you guys on the next episode. You guys take care, and God bless.